Welcome back. Today we're going to continue talking about Internet Explorer. We're going to be covering the navigation pane and actually the various and assorted panes, as well as a few more bars. And if we have time, we'll hit on a little bit of file management as well. So I'm going to come back down here and open up Windows Explorer. Now we've already covered the address bar, the back and forward, and over here in the search. Next, let's go ahead and talk about what's right below it. This may or may not be showing on your computer, but this is the toolbar, and this has all the different options you have available to you with Windows Explorer. I'm not really going to spend much time hitting on these things though, because most of what you can do can be done right here in what's called the command bar. The neat thing about the command bar is it changes. Depending on where you are and what you've selected, the command bar will show different commands that are relevant to the context you're working in. And so most of the options up here are filtered down into the command bar. So for example, let's click on the Documents library. When I click on this, notice that the options up here changed, one of which is Open. Now if you come over here in File, you can see there's the Open command. And as you're going around, you're going to be able to find the commands here are all up here, but at least down here it's just showing the most relevant ones. So it really filters it down to where you don't have to come up here and dig around for it. It's just right there and a single click away in your command bar. Over on the far right of the command bar, this is where you can control the view. And again, oh, look at that, there's the view there as well, but here it's right in front of you. And so you can see you've got a bunch of different options for the view in which you want to look at things. And we may take a close look at that later if we have time. Over here, a little farther to the right, you've got the preview pane. Now, right now the preview pane is not active in my Windows Explorer, but if I click on this, it will pull it up. And you can make your preview pane as big or as small as you'd like. And let me show you an example of what the preview pane does. So for example, I can come over here and click on a Word document, and instead of having to open it and have Word boot up and take the time to take a look at the contents, I can get a snapshot of that here in the preview pane. So it's nice because then you can just click on things and see where you're at there. Handy little tool. I'm going to close it for now. Then over here, of course, you have the help. So if you have any various and assorted questions, you can always try your hand at help. Alright, now if we look over here on the left-hand portion, again, you can make it as big or little as you want, you have your navigation pane. Your navigation pane is exactly what it sounds like, where you would navigate to various and assorted locations. So, for example, right now I'm up here in my favorites, and I'm in one of my favorite folders, the Health Science folder, because I click on it so often at work. I went ahead and put it up here. But you can see you've got a whole bunch of different places you can navigate to here in this pane. In fact, you can get just really anywhere on your computer through this navigation pane. Now if you're thinking, this kind of seems familiar, it should seem familiar. If you come down here to the Start menu in many ways fulfills the same function as the navigation pane does in Windows Explorer. Here you can also access different programs, folders, files. The nice thing about Windows Explorer, though, is it's a little more geared towards opening specific files and navigating in your drives and your folders. The Start menu, in my opinion, tends to be better used for accessing applications or programs like the snipping tool, or if you want to open Word. Here's a great place to do it. But you can even access different files here as well, depending on the setting of your computers. Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got backup database folder here. And let me see if I can find it here as well. There we go. You can see we've got one popping up here, the OTA PTA guinea pig. And there it is. So you can see that the function of the two is very similar. It's just that one is kind of more specialized for hunting down your folders and files. One's more specialized for finding different programs and applications. For example, yes, we could hunt down Word somewhere in here and open it, but that would probably take us at least about 10 clicks. We'd have to open up a lot of different folders. We're down here. Well, there it is. That's kind of the difference between the two. Okay, so that's the navigation pane. Then down here you've got your status bar, just letting you know kind of what's going on. Again, this changes as well depending on the context you're working in. So you can see right now I've clicked on an Access database and it's showing us just kind of a snapshot of the information, the properties of that particular file. So that's Internet Explorer. That's all of its parts and functions. Now what I'd like to do is just take a brief moment to start talking about how you can navigate Windows Explorer and how you can use Windows Explorer to find various folders and files and how to organize things in ways that's easy for you to be able to find them. I think the best example we could use here would be the flash drive. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the flash drive here, and I'm going to make a BizEd 111 folder. And this is something I recommend you do as well. So first off, I clicked on my flash drive. Again, your flash drive is one of many drives you'll have access to on your computer. But a drive is an example of a root directory. It's your starting point. It's your entry point into finding other files and folders. So when you open this up, if you just started with a brand new flash drive, you probably won't see much in here. But that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to create a special folder designated just for our class. And there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but probably the most convenient way is just by simply using your command bar. Notice, again, that's contextual. You're seeing that new folder is an option here. So I'll go ahead and click on this. And then you have an option to be able to name your new folder. Most of you don't want to leave a folder named new folder. So we're going to call this BizEd 111. Now, let's say, for example, you accidentally click off of it, and now you've got this folder named new folder. Don't worry. You can click on it once, and then click on it again. So not a rapid double click, but just a click, wait, and a click. And then you'll be able to rename it. Or never underestimate the power of the right click. You can also right click it, and from here you can rename your folder as well. Alright, now I just hit enter and that locked it into place and we're good to go. Now how you open a folder is you just double click it, and I neglected to mention that earlier, I'm sorry about that. And if you want to open anything from your navigation pane also, you would want to, I guess you can just do a single click with the navigation pane. But in here, you're going to want to double click your objects. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and double click on BizEd 111. And it's empty. Surprise, surprise. It should be. We just made it. It's a new folder. Once you create a folder, you can go ahead and put various files in it. In this case, though, we want to create a couple of subfolders in here, because if you were just throw all your BizEd 111 stuff into here, it'd be kind of equivalent to finishing up a difficult paper or a tax return, opening up your closet and just throwing it in and shutting the door. You know, that works fine when your closet's empty for a little while, But after a while, you're going to get piles and piles of documents, and it's going to be very difficult to find things. Same thing is true here with your flash drive. We know it's in the BizEd111 folder, but where? If you don't have it divided into various subfolders, then it's going to be very difficult to be able to find anything, especially if you're trying to turn in a test and you only have a certain amount of time. So we're going to create some new folders here, and we're just going to go ahead and divide these into the different units that we're going to be doing in class. So the first unit would be Windows, and once I'm done with that, I'll hit Enter, and then I'm going to create a new folder. This time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just right-click in this white space and see if I can make a new folder this way as well. Oh, and there it is. We're doing Windows, we're going to be doing Internet, we're also going to be doing Canvas, and let me show you just another way. Come up here to File, you should also be able to find the new folder option. Then we're also going to have Email, and last but not least, Word. There we go. So now we've got all of the different units for the class. And now what we can do is when you're working on a Windows assignment, you can save it in the Windows folder. You're working on the email test, maybe you have to save a file for the email test. You can go ahead and save it in here. And it's up to you. If you like, you can even divide things further. So let's say in Windows, maybe you want Windows Part 1, and then you could do Windows Part 2. It's up to you. I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick with not subdividing them for now. I can always change that though. And I guess I probably should have gone over how I just did that. Let me show you that. So if you create a folder and you decide you don't want it, you can single click on it and hit your delete key, and then you can delete the folder. Another way is the right click. You should be able to find that option down there as well. Alright, so we just started organizing our flash drive. What we're going to do next time is go a little bit more in depth as far as organizing things by moving things around. We're going to be copying and pasting various folders and files to different places, moving them, and also we're going to be able to we're going to probably cover a little bit more on the navigation pane and how that plays into things. Alright, so we'll see you next time.